with Russia, North Korea, and Iran, voting against the Europe-backed resolution at the UN, condemning Russia's aggression in Ukraine and calling for an immediate international withdrawal by Russia. What's the significance of this, you think, Joel?
Well, Jose, what a shameful betrayal of an American ally at the United Nations. That's the big takeaway. Yesterday's vote was probably the worst single vote by the United States at the United Nations since the war in Iraq back in 2002, when we were misled into, or when we were misleading, that is, the rest of the world, and the American people were misled by the Bush administration to invade that country. And the significance is real, because what it basically now says is that the United States is on the side of Russia in the diplomacy, and we're seeing it in real time with Richard's report, where I don't think we're hearing the White House condemning the bombing of Ukraine right now, certainly. And then even yesterday, this sort of disinformation bubble that President Zelensky spoke about, we saw in real time, where President Trump is completely wrong on the facts on American expenditures. And it really creates concerns about what the way forward is. And I don't think that the president has a realistic view that can be connected to security for Ukraine and for our European allies. And that UN vote really crystallized it yesterday.
You know, I think a lot, Joel, about, with your extraordinary experience and knowledge of history and actually being a participant of much of it. I think of, Roger Fisher's International Conflict for Beginners, when he talked about the carrot and the stick and the need for both a carrot and a stick, and how to be tactical in negotiating when you're talking and dealing with trying to resolve conflict. How do you see, Joel, the resolution thesis of the Trump administration as far as carrots and sticks, but toward Ukraine?
Yeah, what these resolutions can do is appropriately set the table for constructive multilateral dialogue and bilateral negotiations, if that's the way it goes, where you can see the U.S., in this case, President Trump, playing a lead role. And he says he wants to be a leader on this, but what he did not do was bring together the parties with a meaningful United Nations blessing of a diplomatic process that can be trusted, that can be verified, and that can bring the active participants together for a real solution. Instead, we got caught up in arguing with our best allies in Europe and Latin America, in Africa and Asia, and basically finger pointing at them, saying this is all polemics. And of course it is. This is diplomacy. Diplomacy is about words and converting words into real world actions. And so this diplomatic fiasco at the United Nations really should cause concern about the ability of the Trump team to actually negotiate in a manner that brings stability and security to Ukraine, which is what they say the goal is. And I think that the United Nations' role in this is essential to creating a diplomatic framework that we currently just don't have.